Welcome to Whiskey and Whiskers, episode 2 version.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
I'm your host, Blake.
Chris.
Chop.
Gator.
And today we have a special guest, Ron with Garage Oil American Badass Whiskey.
What's up, gentlemen? Before we get started, let me just say this, just for your listeners so they know. When you look around the room, I've got the biggest, baddest fucking beard in this room. Hell
yeah.
Yeah! I got the big, bushy one.
Hell yeah.
We got to get him his own chair for it, right?
Right.
Did you see our promotional beards up here? We've been flexing the beards. We're going to try and post that to Instagram pretty soon. But Ron, tell us a little bit about Garage Oil American Badass Whiskey.
Well, just like you just emphasized that badass, there is no whiskey out there like this. Where, like, first of all, what other product in the world calls itself badass right on the bottle?
Right.
And Garage Oil American Badass Whiskey is unlike any other whiskey in the world. Just because, first of all, you guys have seen this damn bottle I'm holding. The coolest freaking label with this hot rod on the front. This is like the old gas globes. Remember those old pumps where they had the branding on top? And then this is like a piston. There's ribs in that. But here's why I did this. You know how you walk into a bar and you look across the room and you see something like a Maker's Mark, right? And you see that red wax. And you know immediately whether you're drinking Maker's or not. You go, oh, they've got Maker's Mark.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Once people see this, from now on, if you're a half a mile away and you start to see the bottles on the shelf, you're going to pick this out and you're going to go, yeah, they got Garage Oil. Yeah. So this is extra subliminal branding in people's heads because it's just so unusual and cool. So
it's smart.
And the flavor is something that I created. And we get into how that happened too.
Nice. Well, yeah,
We'll definitely
show us how it's done.
You guys want to experience this stuff?
Yeah. I want to.
Man.
However, it's supposed to be experienced. Now, okay, I'm going to be honest with you. We shoot shots on the show. That's what we do, and we're going to get to that. But if there's a better way to drink it, then we want to try.
Well, I just want people to know there is no right or wrong way to drink Garage Oil. It's a liquor and a whiskey like any other whiskey. You don't have to baby it. You can do whatever you want to with it. But I'm just going to say this, just so you see what was in my head when I invented it. There's a particular way just to get the full flavor effect, okay? And that is that it took me a freaking year to develop this flavor profile. And that's no bullshit. I went around and, first of all, I had to find the base, right? The whiskey that I was going to use to start this with. So we don't have a distillery. I contract a distillery. And it's a big distillery in South Carolina.
Which is like 90% of all whiskey you see on the shelf, right?
Right.
It uses a base that...
Yes.
And then creates a flavor profile.
People don't even know that the big brands they think are that brand's distillery, they're made by somebody else.
Right.
But, however, I will tell you that we're looking for our own distillery, but we'll worry about that later.
Cool.
But anyway, so what I wanted to do is find the right base, right? So I had all these people send me their whiskeys, and so I chose finally one that I thought was perfect for what I wanted to do. The goal was to make a better... This is a flavored whiskey, truly, but it's not really. It's an enhanced whiskey. And I did that because when I decided to do this, I know that I didn't walk in here with $20 million and I'm not going to start challenging, all the big brands on the shelves right off the bat. But I knew that I could make a better freaking whiskey than Fireball cinnamon whiskey. Ugh. I hate that shit. I hate it.
I do drink Fireball like I'm just in the name of honesty. I do drink Fireball one time a year, and that's when we're skiing, right? when you're on the mountain, that's the only, and it's horrible the entire time, and you throw up all the way back down the mountain.
Yeah, I mean,
but when in Rome, I feel like you have to drink Fireball. Other than that, I try my best to stay away from Fireball.
Yeah, I can see up there skiing with a little bottle under your nuts, and then you get cold, and you throw some whiskey down. No,
the nuts make it taste better.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, but really, I thought, okay. How can I challenge the market? And I said, I know I can do better than Fireball in terms of the flavor taste. And I was in the restaurant business for a long, long time, and I was a chef, and I know about creating recipes and flavors. Mm-hmm. And I said, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this base of whiskey, and I am going to enhance it the way I'd enhance a steak. Like if you cook something, let's say you put something on the grill or whatever, but you're going to put some seasoning on it. You're doing that not to mask the flavor. You're doing it to make the flavor of the natural juices and stuff better, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that was the goal, not to make some stupid cinnamon whiskey or a peanut butter whiskey. I was going to make whiskey that just made the natural flavors even better by supporting them with flavors that lifted them up. Like if you'd make your steak better, you'd season it, right?
Right.
Or your tomato sauce, you might add a little more oregano, give it a little more pop, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. And then during the process, I was able to smooth out a lot of the burn. So it took me a year to get the profile I want. I didn't know what it would be, but I knew what I wanted it to be in terms of the way it was drinkable. So with all these, it ended up being 9 different 9 separate pure flavor extracts in very, very particular measurements to the amount of whiskey you're using, and it gives it this flavor. So the way I'm going to have you drink this the first time, and then after that you can shoot the whole bottle if you want to. I don't care. But it's,
and we will.
We're just going to put a little over ice because that chill effect makes your tongue just like if you're drinking a cold drink. You know how that's refreshing. Mm-hmm. And then just a dab, and I mean a dab of water, because all brown liquors benefit from the flavor in the center of its flavor as it opens up. It helps it open up a little quicker. As long as you don't saturate it and lose the flavor, you're good.
See, I always just use water as I don't want people to think I'm an alcoholic, so I order a double and then put a splash of water in it. So
so no, I'm having that with water.
It's like
today.
a mixed drink, kind of.
See, I never knew that about water and brown liquors either.
No, I'm not talking about a bunch. I'm talking about just a little. It just pops a little
splash.
bit.
Oh yeah, you get mad if they put water in your.
You know what you reminded me of when you said that? I used to be a bartender, right? And we'd have these, talking about alcoholics, and you know who they were. You go, let me have a scotch and milk. What the fuck are you doing with milk in there? And they're doing that because their stomach's all tore up, and they're trying to get that milk to kind of creamy it up. Mm-hmm. And they're drinking it that way just to keep drinking, and really their ulcer's killing them. But scotch and milk. No, that's not what we're doing with a dab of water. All right, so let's pop this sucker.
This is more akin to like a soda, a pop, Coke, whatever you want to call it, is better out of a glass bottle than it is out of a can, right?
Well, in my opinion, it is. Yeah. In my opinion. It's just really what anything, like for instance, if you're on a hot day, right, and you're out there and you're doing whatever you're doing, and you go grab even just a bottle of water, a warm bottle of water as opposed to a cold bottle of water, even though the flavor doesn't change, it just refreshes you so much better. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what this is. But I just want to make it clear, you can drink it any way you want to. It's a whiskey like any other whiskey. I'm just trying to give you what was in my mind when I created it, and then we'll just do what we want to do. But I got you these big ass James Bond freaking square
my God,
ice cubes.
dude.
I like it.
Man,
that's a cool sound too. Doesn't that make you? That makes you feel good, doesn't it?
Yeah. There's a reason why I'm making this loud, because I love this sound.
Yeah. All right. I can't fault you for that. Like that's honestly just
wait.
a genuine good sound that I like to hear.
Do you mind if I open it?
No, go ahead. So you know what this is, right? It's a cork and not a twist still.
Okay.
And then when you open it, what I'd like you to do, as soon as you open it, you don't even have to do that. Just take a little turn and you're good. It'll pop right off there.
Oh, yep.
First thing you want to do, and when you pop that cork, is get that under your nose and smell the freaking aromas in that bottle. And then let everybody do that, and then I'll pour it.
Okay. All right.
And then you can talk about what you smell.
Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So that plays into the bottle. We'll talk more about this later, but
Yeah.
our metrics, the pop is always a part of it, right?
Let's see the repeat.
Oh,
all right.
Nice.
Pretty good. Pretty
Drinking
good.
whiskey is a visceral experience. You got to have all the little bells and whistles, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely.
Let me smell.
Nice.
That was good.
No, it was good. It was
yeah.
good.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys partake in the ganja. It's kind of like the good smell of a good pot.
Yeah, you got to get the good smell of it for sure.
And I'll tell you what that does as well. When you get that nostril stuff going, man, you start salivating. Your taste buds start to pop before you can drink it.
Yeah, it smelled really good.
It's good.
I like it. He's blowing it out.
Did it touch your soul?
Oh, it's good.
Oh, man.
But I mean, okay, so I'm going to pour this. But in the meantime, honestly, when you smell that, don't you know right away, this is something that is just going to be, it already tells you I'm ready to go too. It's like,
it made me excited to try and drink it,
exactly.
There's really no, it's unique.
That's a good pour.
It's not like Fireball at all.
No. Well, so let's clarify that. I didn't mean to make something like Fireball. I meant to make a whiskey that was enhanced with other flavors that was the best tasting whiskey in the world, whether it's straight whiskey or flavored whiskey. It wasn't about creating a Fireball style. It was about kicking their ass in sales, because they shouldn't be doing that. They do $130 million a year in sales in the U.S. producing a shitty ass whiskey.
Whoa. Yeah, college kids like it. I mean, that's... And it's not even that they like it; it's that they know it, right? You were talking about brand recognition earlier, seeing it up on the shelf. People know certain bottles. They know Maker's Mark. They know Fireball. They know, as much as it sucks, they know what's the Irish whiskey? Jameson. That shit sucks.
Jameson does suck, man. And why do people like Jameson, by the way?
I don't get it.
It's the same reason we drink green beer on St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
But I think, honestly, Jameson, when I'd have people come in as a bartender and they'd be hardcore Jameson week, and I think this tastes like weeds to me. It tastes like dirt and weeds.
And grass.
And whiskey. Yeah. Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Jameson makes me sick.
It just gives me a bad hangover for sure. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, Jameson makes me sick for
oh,
sure.
that's bad.
People love Jack Daniels. That's the ultimate. That's the Leviathan, right? Or the 800-pound gorilla in the room, right? Jack Daniels. And our thing has always been like Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels is okay. It's not even good. It's okay, and it just has such a name. It just has such a place on the shelf that's how they sell. They just rely on that. They
It's
rest on
history.
their laurels.
It's an historic brand, and it sucks. If you were to take a shot of Jack Daniels and set it next to a shot of Garage American Badass whiskey, you couldn't really sit there. If you're not you guys are whiskey drinkers. If you weren't a hardcore whiskey drinker, you can't sit and suck on some fucking Garage or some Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
It's just it's not good. This is smooth and delicious, and so we can't beat them in sales because we don't have 200 years worth of history.
Right.
But I can make a better whiskey than they do, which is what we've done, and which is everybody is finding out. But look at what they are now as an icon. Think about after we're dead 100 years from now, when Garage Oil is one of those brands that's been around for 100 years, which it will be. It'll be thought of as just one of those iconic brands that's, hey, you got to have your freaking Garage Oil American Badass whiskey. Will be a Jack Daniels someday. Right now, I'm just concerned about making people have a better experience sitting down and drinking a glass of whiskey than fucking Jack Daniels.
Hanging out in the
which
garage.
tastes terrible.
hanging out in the garage, and that's where we started. Was in the garage. So I'm excited to taste this garage.
All right, let's pass this around.
Garage Oil
It's
Badass
getting a little
American
bit cool. There's a tiny splash of water in it.
Ooh, I feel it.
And then just the first couple of sips, take it small and let it lay on your tongue, and then just let those things bloom. Now, I know we're being hoity-toity right now, but we'll shoot it in just a minute. But this is how I did. This is how I designed it to open up in your mouth.
Tink.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's a good sipping whiskey for sure.
Yeah,
It's just smooth as shit.
without a doubt.
Ooh, yeah.
Woo. Yeah, I can drink that.
Got more ice cubes?
All right, so let me ask you this: why whiskey?
Do you want the whole story? This goes
I mean,
into
yeah, we got
the
time.
Uber thing if you want to get into that.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Let's do it.
Why don't you tell them?
Okay. So I ran into Ron 2 years ago, a year and a half, 2
No,
years
more
ago,
than that.
three. Holy
four.
shit!
3 years ago, brother.
And we had just started a podcast at the time. Just started. I think we may have aired 6 episodes.
Yeah, maybe at that point.
And I don't remember exactly where we were at. It was me and Chris, and we were so hungover that we couldn't. Obviously, we couldn't drive home. Both of us we didn't have our car. It's amazing we had our wallets and our phones, really.
Yeah.
And so we caught an Uber to come home, and it was daylight, mind you, daylight. The sun is out.
Yeah, so
It was broad daylight. It wasn't even morning. It was like freaking 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
So we're doing the I'm a piece of shit going home thing, right? And
was it after a bro bash?
maybe it was something fucked up.
Yeah.
And so we get an Uber, picks us up, and it's got this American Badass whiskey or something on the side.
No. Back then I was driving this other Dodge, not the one I pulled up today. Didn't have any branding yet. I gave you guys.
But you had shit. You had shit all over the
Yeah,
inside.
I had it inside the car because I was telling people what I was going to do. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so, as much as when you do the thing where you get in an Uber car and you don't want to talk to anybody, right? I get in this car and I'm looking around, and you were very professional about it. But I'm looking around and I'm
very
like,
professional.
fuck, man, I don't want to talk to this motherfucker. And then I'm looking, and I'm like, all right, he's got whiskey shit all over the place. We just started a whiskey podcast, and I was like, hey, what's up, bro? What's going on? And we started talking about, he started telling us about this idea for a whiskey. And I was like, that's pretty cool. We're doing a comedy/whiskey review podcast. And so we just started vibing on whiskey. And I remember looking over to Chris and being like shrugging and pointing,
Dude,
you want any of that?
I was just I'm hoping I don't throw up in the back of this guy's car. I don't feel good. I need a nap and a shower, immediately. To this day, we don't have no idea where we were coming from.
And so I got home. I bet I could go in my garage and dig under the fucking old bicycles and bullshit and find a card that says Garage Oil, because I kept it.
Yeah.
I kept it on the table. That's the table actually right there. I'm gonna get you to sign it before you leave.
Yeah.
So when we started in the garage, that used to be a bar top that I had in my garage. We ripped down the bar. We turned that bar top into a table. See, that was where the tap came out over there. Where the hole.
Yeah.
People had drawn on the bar while we had the kegerator or whatever. People had drawn on the bar. So when we made the table, we wanted to keep that, and that's what the podcast started on in the garage, was that that table right there. Obviously, we've moved to the studio now, so we hang it up on the wall for show. But I guarantee you, somewhere in the garage, under all the bullshit, there's that garage oil card. I remember sitting on that table for like a year. You know,
Yeah.
It just never moved. It was just always there. It was a staple.
And then now here I am.
And I remember, that's what's crazy. The way the world turns, right? I remember being like, well, cool, bro. I hope you make it. And you know, that was kind of it. I didn't expect that to ever be anything other than that.
Yeah, you said if you get it out there, let me know. We'll try to get a show on.
And then what? And then it happens. You know,
and not only did it happen, we're fucking doing NASCAR this weekend. I've got to tell you guys about that. But hold on, let me just say this. If I'd have known you guys were that messed up and were ready to throw up, I'd have put you in my trunk, man.
Oh yeah, we had no business like moving in a car.
All right, so this is an important thing, man, as to why I was driving Uber and what it means for people to never give up. And it kind of goes to why. You said, why whiskey? So my former life was in the movie business. I'm a writer, director, producer, editor. I did freaking movies. I've won awards all over the world for films. And I had gotten there from just hard work as a kid, man, growing up with a crazy life where we were running the streets and doing bad things. And
it's fun to do bad things.
It's fun to do bad things until the police guy grabs you by the neck and says, "Let's go."
Yeah.
And so I kind of had it at 16 years old. I had to actually get away from it because everybody I knew was getting killed. They were doing drug overdoses or they were getting put in prison. I was in a bad spot with people. Not me personally. I was just trying to get through it, but I was doing shitty things because it was the environment I was in, right?
Right.
But I knew at 16 this is not the world that I wanted to create for the rest of my life. I got to have some kind of life, right? So I knew I was good in the entertainment industry. I just had a feeling about it. I started doing everything you do as an actor and all that stuff. Anyway, I ended up kind of making it in the business. I ended up traveling the world with it. I've been friends and colleagues with Academy Award winners. I've met with presidents about projects we're going to do. It's been a pretty interesting ride. And I was doing great, and then I got married in Florida and moved here to Texas with this crazy woman, and she turned my world upside down. I was in Singapore with a film I was opening up out there, winning awards, and I had made money at that point. Our combined money was big. She went into the accounts knowing I was going to divorce her when I got back because she was cheating on me, and she was an alcoholic who was crazy bad with it, used to try to kill me. Like, I'm going to stab you in your sleep. Damn. So I'm like, I got to get away from this crazy woman.
I like the crazy ones too, man.
You know what? I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the excitement.
It's an addiction.
Until they pull that kitchen knife out, they're like, wait a minute, maybe I made a mistake here.
It's a little too far.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm there and I look in my accounts as I'm on the halfway the other side of the world. Every single one of my bank accounts, zero, goose egged. When you're the owner of the production company, you've got no checks coming in. It's not like I could get, next week I'll have more money.
Yeah.
I had zippity dude on nothing because she knew that she could divorce me and I couldn't fight back because she took all the money, took a lot of money. So anyway, I was down to nothing and I got divorced and I was out, got into this new place I was living. I got thrown out. I'm driving Uber. I'm not making it. My bills aren't getting paid. But it hit me that, okay, instead of trying to mount another film, which takes years, it's tons, millions of dollars, I'll do something I know. So I went back to my bar skills and I said, you know what? I'm looking at that stupid that Fireball just stuck in my mind because I hate that.
You've got it out for Fireball.
You know why? Because it's just bad whiskey. It just tastes bad. But they make so much damn money that I thought if they can do that, I can do something much better.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I started to think of how I would do it, and this is the whiskey, I thought of this like a character in one of my films. So all the things I've written and all the stories I've written, this right here, the reason why it's so cool and interesting is because it's full of personality. Like on my website there, if you read The Legend of Hot Rod Rick, full of a fucking story. This is not like just, let me make some Whispering Woods whiskey.
Yeah.
The whiskey that makes you whisper. Fuck that. This really is full of life and soul and personality. So I thought of it using my old skills, and here's why I really did it. So I said, okay, man, I'm 60 years old. I've lost everything I ever worked for 35 years. I'm poor as shit. I've gotten kicked out of my house, and I'm driving Uber. I'm going to choose something that I know is always going to sell for the rest of my life and everybody else's. You'll never see the world stop drinking liquor.
Right.
Never. It doesn't matter if there's a depression going on. It doesn't matter if we're celebrating whatever. You'll never not sell liquor. So that's what I went into, and I said, okay, but I'm going to use my damn skills to make it the most incredible whiskey out there. And that's how I got into this, to change my life. But I'm not one of those people that goes into it saying, let me just do something. If I'm going to do something, I want to fucking do it big as I can. And that's how we got here.
Man.
Well, so I do appreciate. Well, when we're talking about the bottle later, I know that there is a little bit of flavor to it. I love that it doesn't do the pretentious bullshit where it's like hints of oak and overtones of vanilla nonsense, right? Like, let's be real here. We're trying to get drunk, all right? Can we calm down just a little bit?
That was on purpose. I hate that shit too. Can you read the back of that bottle?
I did. So, live in the moment and demonstrate copious amounts of badassery.
That's it.
So, I like
that's
that.
perfect.
I like that.
That sums it up.
You guys are demonstrating copious amounts of badassery right now.
Hell yeah. We're going to need another one here in a second.
So, man, the whole deal about, sometimes life throws you a curveball, you're down and out, shit hits the fan, and you don't know what tomorrow holds. But, man, if you just put your head down and think of how to turn it around, and then you put the first foot in front of the next one and you work your ass off, anything is possible. And I'm telling you, it's one of those deals, you just got to believe. You got to believe, but you got to work hard. And I mean fucking hard.
Yeah.
But I went literally from being thrown out of my house, driving Uber with drunk people in the backseat, to sitting here with you with a whiskey that's blowing the hell up. And next Saturday, it's happening so quickly that I am a sponsor, a branded logo on a NASCAR this freaking Saturday. That's how fast we're blowing up.
That's all.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that's real
anybody
cool.
can do it, man. Rags to riches, right?
Real quick. Who's the driver? What's the car? It's the Xfinity series.
It's the Xfinity on Saturday. So Cup Series Sunday, but Xfinity Saturday. Mm-hmm. This guy is Preston Pardis, and he is a ringer for road courses, which that's what Dakota is.
I saw the car. The side, you're like on the rear quarter panel. That's cool. It's just cool to be on a car, right?
Yeah.
But the back, right? Like, aside from the hood, I feel like the back is the most prestigious spot that you can be, and you're all the way American badass whiskey across the back.
That's so cool.
Did you see the freaking trunk on the back there?
That's what I'm saying. The whole back of the car is gnarly, and so often you get that angle. I feel like that's gonna work out well. That's pretty cool.
If you guys, I'm showing them right now, so I got my damn iPad with me. Did you see this freaking car? So that's me here. And if people don't know this, go to GarageRoyalSpirits.com or go to my Facebook, and they can start to look at these photos and stuff. But look at how badass that is.
Yeah.
So you can imagine what that feels like to me. So my goal, the reason why there's all this motorsports and stuff on here is that I knew that this is a huge built-in audience. Car shows, car races, all that stuff, car TV shows, has millions of eyeballs, right? This fits right in their world. So I thought, okay, in a few years, I'll get on a NASCAR. I'm doing it in the first few months.
Man.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's so cool,
And
man.
when you're down, drink a shot of good whiskey, right? When you're up, drink a shot of good whiskey. That's what you were saying earlier. You can always sell whiskey, whether times are good, times are bad. People always want to buy alcohol, and why not drink whiskey because that's the best. Here's the deal that I will throw out there though, since it seems like we're transitioning a little bit. If you're gonna work hard and if you're gonna be a whiskey connoisseur like me, then you have to be able to earn your hangovers. Ooh. And that means you have to be able to work. Sometimes you have to be able to work when you're hungover, right?
Oh, hell yes. Gator, you know all about that.
Man, it's tough.
So
That's a tough business.
my biggest thing that I've got, I came up, I did carpentry, drove forklifts, 18-wheelers, stuff like that. Very, very much blue collar. I've kind of shifted more into a white collar, whatever now.
He can't even read.
And I can't even read, right? So the deal is, when I'm managing my younger guys, I know that they're going to show up hungover sometimes. The motherfucker's 21 years old, like it's going to happen. But when he shows up and he's 30 minutes late, I'm like, all right, you're 30 minutes late. You already fucked up once, Now it's time to hustle. And I get it. You're hungover. It sucks. But I had to do it. Everyone that got to where they are had to do it. It's time to earn your fucking hangover. You know what I'm saying? Like, and nothing works off a hangover like working outside. Nothing. Oh. So
it's like the best way though, man. You'll get it cleared out quick,
Yeah, that's way easier than like take an important meeting like at 9 a.m.
Same. It's the same shit, dude. If you you can be all fucking clammy and sweating and stomach turning or whatever, and then when it comes time to perform, you better wipe your forehead off, you better walk out there and you better fucking crush it. And that's what separates the winners from the losers. You know what I'm saying?
Wipe off your face, go out there and get it.
If you can't do the time, don't do the crime.
That's right. Yeah. Or just don't drink. I mean, if you want to be a bitch about it, you can do that.
Yeah. My dad used to say, if you're going to fly with the eagles at night, you're going to wallow the hogs in the morning.
No, man, I remember talking about that bartending stuff and all kinds of shit I did. I remember parties, crazy parties till like 5 a.m. and my shift started at 8. And I think, how did I do that? Like, I'm talking about drinking all night and then in 3 hours being at work and having to work 8-10 hours straight. You know,
and you're just like, okay.
I tell you right now, I can't do it now at my age. I just can't fucking do it.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing is I act tough in front of my younger guys, but I don't do the same shit that I.
Nobody can.
But when I was 21, no, you know.
Well, you have to, and you're exactly right. If you don't earn that shit, you don't know how it feels. You know, you're gonna get surprised some night when you fuck up and do something. You're not gonna know how to handle it. You got to go through these battles, man.
Yeah.
To figure out how to hit home runs in life.
No, for sure. All those struggles and challenges, man. Like, if you don't go through that, you don't have any kind of, like, heart and soul. You don't have anything to grab onto.
I'm laughing in my mind right now because we're talking about battles because we're drinking whiskey. It's my battle, man.
I'm struggling over here. I don't even have a shot. What's up?
There's whiskey right in front of you, brother.
Yeah.
Let's drink it.
Yeah, we got to get some more going here.
So I want to talk about, since we're talking about work stuff, I want to talk more about the movie biz.
Yeah.
What? So I didn't even know that side of you. Here, do you want a shot?
I got to take this.
Well, let me tell you this. Because I did everything in it. I mean, literally writing, directing, producing, editing. I did sound effects. I did stuntman work. I've done it all. So what I want to know is just find something specific you're interested in. I can give you like a real specific ending. Like what have you always said? Okay. How do they do that in the movies?
No, I've got this. So I know I can't write and read, right?
Right.
But
Wrong.
I was really good at English as a young man, at least, and I fancied myself a writer, and I try to see, like, you know, I try to empathize with people. I try to create a good narrative. I try to make a good story. My motto is, you know, live a great story.
Yeah, his motto.
So
Nobody else.
But I've always thought I feel like I would be a better director than a actor. I don't know if I have the acting thing in me. But I don't even know how you would start to get into like directing something, right? I kind of get how you could write a story, and I watched that documentary about Quentin Tarantino, the one about the first aid or whatever like that. Did y'all watch that?
No, I didn't.
It's on Netflix. Y'all
First
need to
aid.
check it out.
You mean like emergency first aid?
No, first eight.
Oh, first 8.
Yeah,
Okay.
and or the grade 8. It's something. It's not the Hateful Eight. That's a movie,
Right.
But like Quentin Tarantino's first several movies or something like that.
Yeah.
And it goes through like he wrote tons of movies. He sold movies. He sold like stories like Willie Nelson sold songs. You know, like for nothing. He's like, hey, you pick up my bar tab, you can have a song, you can have a movie. You know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how Quentin Tarantino got into it. Is he had a couple hits and then that he wrote and then went to him and was like, look, I want to try directing. How do you other than that, how do you get into directing specifically?
So, but you got to go back further than that with Quentin. You got to really understand, and this will kind of answer your question. Quentin used to work in a video rental store, and he would sit there when people weren't in there and just watch that shit every day and think about and he especially he loved kung fu movies. But he would look at this.
Which really plays out in all of his movies. You can see the kung fu
100%.
and the blaxploitation influence.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And so that completely influenced him. So he sat there and just
Tink.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry,
absorb.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead. He just sat there and absorbed that shit. That's the first thing. You've got to fucking absorb what entertainment is. How does it get into the soul and the subconscious of the person watching? You can't make movies for yourself. You have to like it, but you have to make it so that other people enjoy it, because otherwise 5 people will see it. But let me tell you this. When you're talking about, I wouldn't be a good actor, but I could be a good director. I'm of the mindset that you better at least try acting to be able to be a director, because you can't talk to an actor and tell them how to do something or what to think about if you haven't been there yourself. When I direct somebody, I don't say, okay, walk over there, turn left, and then put your arm on the couch. I say, listen, you're about to go over there. You haven't seen your father for 25 years. He used to beat your mother, and you witnessed it as a kid, and you went down a strange path in your life because you have those memories. Now you're about to see him for the first time, and you're going to go over there and wait on the couch for him.
Yeah, you set the scene.
Now, when they walk over to the couch, they have purpose and intention. A director who doesn't know what it feels like to bring that up in their soul, to put it on camera, they don't know how to direct a person to do it. So that's why it's important to go through all the phases of it to try to be a director. Directing, you've got 200 people. I've had 200, 250 people on set that I'm responsible for everything they do. the way that crane moves, the lens on the camera, the lighting, the actor, the makeup artist, the clothes they're wearing. If I want you to feel depressed, I'm going to put everybody in a gray and brown thing. You can't just let people show up and wear green and orange, and so it's a lot to think about. But here's the thing to really think about with Quentin, and hopefully this will gel in your mind. Did you ever see I'm bringing up a fucking Golden Girls reference. Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, we got a Golden Girls pro.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're a Betty White man?
Yeah.
You like her muffins?
Yeah.
Cheesecake.
It's cheesecake.
Yeah, cheesecake. They're always damn cheesecake. No, but I'm bringing that up because there's an episode where one of them is getting married. I forget who it is, but they do it where they have a bunch of Elvises, the Elvi show up and be a part of the marriage ceremony, right? Yeah. The wedding. And in the crowd, as an extra, being an Elvis impersonator, is Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of famous people
in
a lot of those Golden Girls episodes too.
A lot of features like that. But the point about that is he was trying to get his foot in the door to figure out how the business works. He doesn't want to be on the Golden Girls set. He doesn't want to be an Elvis impersonator, but he wants to be there, just like I did, and watch how does that director tell that cameraman to move the camera? Why do they do that setup like this? Why do I aim the camera low when I want to make that person seem imposing? Why do we do what we do? And you can do that by getting into the business in whatever way you can, whether you're a Golden Girls Elvis guy or you're watching kung fu movies at the video store. You can't walk into any job in the movie business and go, yeah, I know how to do this. You start by learning, you
have to learn the
You have to absorb it all and then figure out what it is to you that speaks, how you get your voice out.
That's definitely putting in your dues. I feel like an Elvis impersonator is like maybe one step above mime, right? Like one step below clown.
Well, if you watch him, he's the one that's really going like this, like really baked, because he's wanting to get some camera time. Yeah. He has blown it up, and exactly. He looked like a mime doing Elvis.
But to take it back, there's Quentin Tarantino was an actor before he was a director. He was also a writer before he was a director. But a lot of great there's Martin Scorsese wasn't an actor, right?
No, but he went through the NY Film School, and in the NY Film School, they make you do everything. And I've been through that stuff as well, where you may not have it on camera or it may not be publicly known, but believe me, he went through the paces. He
had to perform. Yeah, he had to perform.
They make you do it all. They make you write it, then you got to get it, perform it, then they make you direct it. So even though he didn't pursue acting, he's been through it, I promise you.
What's your favorite movie?
My favorite movie is called Passing Fancy. It was written and directed by Ron Stone. You can get it on Amazon.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, my favorite movie, it's so hard because everybody asks me that being in the movie business. So, because I kind of break it down into...
How about this? What's your favorite genre? What's your favorite type of movie? That's a little easier. So it can be hard to nail down a favorite movie, right?
So let's do this. I'll give you a trifecta here.
Boom.
Answer. If you ask me about comedy, one of my all-time favorite comedies is Arthur. Because Dudley Moore kills that movie. He is an amazing comic genius in that movie. And it is... just a fun ride to watch. If you want to talk about drama, you cannot get better than There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, yeah.
Incredible movie. I mean, it is a...
Daniel Day-Lewis is a different animal. He's great in everything he's in.
He's switched on. When he's the character, he's alive in that. There's no bullshit of an actor in there at all. He's just in it. Mm-hmm. And then there's something that's... I would call it kind of a musical, but it won the Academy Award for Best Picture, but it is a foreign film, but it doesn't feel like it, but it's called La Vie en Rose with Marion Cotillard. And I don't know that one. She becomes this singer from the 1940s, this French singer. And it doesn't sound interesting at all, but when you watch that movie, you cannot fucking turn your eyes off this woman who captivates every fucking moment of it. And she's rags to riches, she's poor, and she's in the street, and she's begging, singing for money, and she makes it big time. But it's one of those things where you look at her life and you can, even though it's not your life at all, you can equate your own journey, trying to do something with your fucking legs and arms and mouth. You're trying to get through this world by just giving whatever you got and doing something with your life. Those type of things to me that give you the vision for hope and for the reason to live, those are what movies do for me. I love a good action film just to see shit blown up. But I look for things to kind of change my soul and go, shit, man, I can think about things a little differently.
I think you can do it with an action film. I don't want to say that like action. obviously drama. There's a lot more potential there for people to shine, for people to act, right? But what about like, and I know this is going to sound cliche, but bear with me. The Matrix is an amazing action movie. Now, The Matrix 2 and The Matrix fucking 7 or whatever, they're all garbage. All of them are garbage. But The Matrix 1, it's sci-fi, but it's action. Action through and through.
I was mesmerized.
And nobody had ever seen it. It's like I imagine it like I got to witness Star Wars for the first time, right?
Yeah.
Like as a metaphor, right? Like people got to see Star Wars in theaters, and I didn't. I was too young. But I got to see The Matrix in theaters for the first time.
Yeah.
And they tried to recreate it, and you can't. You can't make it happen again.
Well, and it's not a new idea anymore. It was an original idea. Even like we were just on the precipice of the internet and the ability to think out,
AI
to think digitally,
to think
to think
digitally
AI.
into that spot.
And I will tell you this: there's another thing too.
I mean, we had Terminator. Terminator was AI, I guess.
Terminator was that first one. It's like, holy crap, that looks like a real robot thing, right?
Yeah.
But there's a thing that in the business that's called magic that you cannot construct, right? Like when you get the right actors with the right script, with the right directors, with the right lighting and the right music, something comes together that you just really can't predict until
score
until it
matters
happens.
so much too.
Score is everything, brother.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the new Dune.
Oh, I haven't seen it.
I won't spoil it for you. The sound. I just want to say the sound is what that movie, for me, what that movie's about.
Yeah.
If you can watch it with headphones on, watch it with headphones on. You need the full sound experience. It's crazy. The score is amazing. It's overpowering.
But I gotta bring this up because I'm older than you guys, and you said you didn't get to see Star Wars for the first day. I saw it opening day. I'm an older guy. I saw it like when I was a kid, right? A teenager. And here's what happened afterwards. When I first saw Star Wars, I was with my brother and his girlfriend, and they're in their 20s, and I'm like 18 years old or some shit. And we get in the car, and I'm driving. And after I got out of that, watching that movie, Star Wars, for the very first time, nobody had seen a movie like that.
Yeah.
Every light I got up to, a green or red light, looked like it was fucking flashing Star Wars shit, like flying. I felt like I was in my Millennium Falcon, but I'm just in a fucking Chevy, and I'm getting to the light.
Ford Falcon.
Go like, oh, the red lights, the green lights flashing by me. It's like it got my mind so crazy.
Oh yeah. Exactly what you were talking about earlier, how it just kind of like, it can change like your mindset and stuff about where you look at things.
I remember going to see Gone in 60 Seconds and leaving the theater, and I was like, everybody that leaves this theater is going to get in a wreck on the theater.
Yeah, you could be driving a Corolla Virus. You're going to drive fast as fuck, you know?
Yeah. At least you think you're going fast.
Yeah, it feels like it right here, right? Yeah.
Am I bringing this shit down to some aesthetic level where we're talking about films? I mean, is this what you normally do? Are we drinking whiskey? Or are we?
Hey, we can talk. We can transition.
Whatever you want to do, but I don't want you to think I'm getting too fucked.
No, we talk about everything.
I'm just interested.
Love it.
We talk movies a lot, actually.
Okay, all right.
We even had a bit for a while. We did Critically Ashamed, where we'd pick out like movies that we thought were just super B-list, and we'd watch them and we'd review them, and
Like Zardoz.
yeah.
Ooh,
Dude, I'm like a word guy. I
Thanksgiving.
love putting combinations of words together, and Critically Ashamed is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
Because everything is critically acclaimed. Critically Ashamed is brilliant.
Yeah.
we're definitely not critically acclaimed. we tend to more critically ashamed. That's more our
Yeah,
place.
we tend towards that way. It was a good bit though, but we haven't done it in a while. But yeah, we talk about everything on this show, man.
Yeah, that one was hard because it required everybody to do homework every week. And
Yeah, half the time, half the
You
show.
don't
And it's
Try
not,
one more, guys.
it's not necessarily something that people want to do. We're like, hey, look, this movie looks really bad. Let's check it out. Chud.
Chud.
Zardoz.
What was the one with that old actress, the Trog? Did you ever see Trog? The
I
60
know what it
movies?
is. As weird as it sounds, I know what Trog is because my dad has been like, that movie is too fucking weird. I don't want to watch it.
It's something you got to watch just because it's so damn weird. I forget who the actress is. It's one of those big old iconic actresses that used to work with Betty Davis, and she was at the end of her career and she couldn't get shit, and she got this super B movie called Trog, and it's terrible, but it's so weirdly terrible that it's like you can't take your eyes off of it.
Oh man.
yeah.
So my dad tells a story about your dad, Chris. About after Trog came out, your dad would he'd be eating cereal. This is when they're like
Little
kids, right?
yeah.
Middle school, or teenagers maybe.
Yeah.
And your dad would eat cereal and he would, and so they started calling him Trog.
Yeah, there's a weird cereal scene in that movie. Hey, Chris, can you hand me some fucking garage roll, brother? I mean, why is my glass empty? And Gator keeps fucking eyeing my glass like he's going to drink it.
It's just sitting there.
Here, I can put some more in here.
Which one you want? Ice or no ice?
I'll do some ice, please.
Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
So we can talk about. What was it?
I want to talk about tornadoes. We're talking about movies. Let's talk about tornadoes.
Okay, we'll shift gears.
Yeah.
It was Twister up in
So-
Central Texas recently.
You're pretty new to Texas, right? That's what I gathered.
For most Texans, I'm new, but I've been here 10 years or more.
Okay. So this whole tornado thing's not so new for you.
Well, I came from freaking Florida and was hurricane season. I've been through some terrible hurricanes, so I'm used to
Yeah.
weather kicking your ass.
Right.
But tornadoes are pretty terrible because when they get on you, man, the shit's flying.
I want
Yeah.
you guys to correct me if I'm wrong here, because I didn't understand why tornadoes were scary. I thought you couldn't predict tornadoes. I thought tornadoes just happen and they fuck everything up, and then you go, oh no, well, what are we gonna do? It turns out, like a week ago, they were talking about on the news, there's gonna be like 5 tornadoes in Austin in like
Really?
5 days, and you're like, what the fuck? What, like, if we can predict tornadoes, why are we sweating tornadoes
Well,
anymore?
bro, it's come a long way since Twister came out, you know?
Well, I haven't evolved
Well,
at
it's
all. I've learned
because-
nothing since
It's
then.
because when they say it's going to hit a certain area, you can't fucking pick up the buildings and move the shit. So if it says it's coming to a populated place, those people are fucked. They got to get out.
Yeah, I guess you
Yeah.
can't really tornado.
Don't you like those stories though? When you look at the whole, it's like a bomb went off, and there's one closet that survived, and like 5 people were stuffed in there. They go, "We got in the closet, and we made it,
dude? So it would have been when I was a kid. So 25 years ago at this point.
It was like in the late 90s. It was
But
in the late
a
90s.
tornado came through Spicewood, and you could drive down 71, and you could see the path through the hill country where this badass tornado just ripped its way through the trees,
Twisted up all the trees.
It literally made a path in the trees.
Yeah.
And so when you're driving down 71, you can like trees, boom, there's an alley. I can look both directions and see for miles, and then trees. Right next to that, where that tornado ripped through, it was a church, and it didn't even get touched. And it's one of those wild, like, you hear about like hay through a telephone pole or something,
Yeah.
or like the eggs inside of the refrigerator are okay, but the refrigerator's upside.
Yeah.
Like all that crazy shit. It was one of those type of stories.
It just happened here. So we have a huge hotel and resort here called Kalahari. And I mean, it's like a giant resort. There's an indoor water park. It's that big.
Yeah.
You know? And there's just thousands and thousands of people in Kalahari. And they had video of a tornado coming right over the top of it. And it wasn't quite touching down. It was just a little off the ground. And so it didn't hurt anything. It was high winds that knocked the camera off. But then it came over the top of it and touched down in the parking lot and was throwing cars. Just throwing cars and ripping trees out and completely demolished in front of Kalahari and just went right over the hotel where all the people were.
Did y'all see that video? That just came out like yesterday, right?
The truck.
The
red
truck. Yeah, the truck.
What happened?
Did you see that truck?
No.
So tornadoes that just hit like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
There's this like Chevy pickup truck that's driving down the road. Then all of a sudden it like stops, and then it starts sliding sideways, and then it just straight up gets tornadoed, dude. It
It got
turns
cowed
over.
It got cowed like Twister.
yeah. And so the whole truck gets like picked up and thrown, and then rolled over, and then eventually somehow it ends up landing back on its tires, and it drives away.
No.
Yeah, dude.
And he's just like, fuck this, I'm out.
That's movie shit, man.
Yeah, it flipped down the street and then he ended up on his tires and
He
drove
noped
away.
the fuck out of there. Yeah, he got tornadoed. I'm gonna write that down. Let's go.
So listen, since we're talking about this, I got a subject that you guys might like, man.
Okay.
Let's get into this, because talking about like when disaster hits or something really is traumatic that happens in your life that you survive. So this is we'll do the survival thing. I'll tell you a little story, then I want you guys to tell me something like that happened to you that's like, I can't believe you made it through. So when I was a kid, remember I told you I was in tough shit going on when I was a kid. I was homeless at 15. I was not living anywhere. I'd run away from home. I just was in a bad place. I was with some friends, and we went up to the mountains in Colorado. You go up in the mountains and you party amongst the trees, and you get out into the nature there, and nobody sees you. So we're up at the top of Pikes Peak Mountain.
Completely sober.
No. Pikes Peak is one of the highest elevations.
That's Colorado?
It's Colorado.
Okay.
So we're up there above tree line, and we're getting high, but we're also...
Like altitude. Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting high with the altitude.
That altitude sickness will get you.
And singing John Denver songs.
Country roads, bro.
Yeah.
John Denver's great.
No, but we decided, this is a great place to take some acid. So we took acid up in the mountains, and we're just tripping
dangerous.
on. Yeah, it's dangerous. Because the dude that we were with that was driving, who I just met that day, was a friend of a friend. had a 1965 black Impala convertible. So we're all messed up in the mountains. I'm a runaway. These guys are around the same age, between 15 and 16 years old. And this guy's on acid, and I'm not sure he ever had done it before. And so we start driving down the mountain. And he's high as shit. Switchbacks. And all of a sudden he's driving like 60 miles an hour on a dirt road that's, just barely a car wide with no girders. You can fly off it. And people start saying, we're in a convertible, start saying, dude, slow down, man, slow down. We can't be driving like this on this mountain, and we're high. And so all of a sudden this kid hits the brakes and turns the wheel to the right, which is where the cliff was. The car flies off of the cliff. Now here's where that guy's driving. My best friend's on the passenger seat in front of me on the right. I'm in the back seat on the left, and there's another kid sitting to me on the right in the back seat.
Totally crushed your vibe, right?
Well, let me tell you, weird shit happened. Like that wasn't weird enough. We flew off a cliff.
Damn.
So the car's just flying into the air, and if you know how these cliffs are in Colorado, I mean, we're literally flying through the trees.
Yeah.
So I look up, and I see my friend in the front seat, who was the only one who didn't drop acid. He jumps out of the car quickly, had cat reflexes. He jumps out, and I look up, and all I see is sky, and his hands out, and I'm going, oh, man, Superman. Like he was flying. In the meantime, when I was looking up, I didn't know the kid driving had jumped out, opened the door and jumped out, landed on one of those girders that hold the gravel from flying down it, so it kind of fills up with gravel.
Yeah.
He hits that metal with his stomach and has huge internal injuries. Oh. And then my buddy here on the right, he just kind of buckles in. He puts his hands together and puts his head up against the back seat, and he's going to just ride it out.
He's holding on, yeah.
And I thought that's what I'm going to do. But then I thought to myself, dude, I'm dead. This is the end of my life. So let me just see how this is going to go. Let me just kind of watch this death thing happen.
Oh, that's cool, man.
It was bizarre because let me tell you, it all started happening in slow motion. And so all of a sudden I realized, wait a minute, maybe I can survive this. So I stood up in the backseat of this convertible Impala with the big long trunk. And I stood up, and the centrifugal force pulled me out of the car, and I rolled off the back of this car, flying through the air, and the car is flying in front of me, just flying away from me, with like dust and gravel flying away. It's just flying away in slow motion. And the dude that's sitting in the seat, the car starts to turn like it's going to flip over on its head, and he would have been killed. It hits a tree, and it righted itself. I hit the side of the mountain, bam! And I mean, it was like your whole body was crushed. And all of a sudden, I was flying again. And then, bam, it happened again. And then I started rolling. I started rolling down the mountain at 60 miles an hour. My body's just flying. Bam, 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 bam. The kid in the car, he makes it. It lands. The car lands into like where the gravel slides around those girders, and it kind of makes like a softer landing. The car lands, and all the wheels break open. The doors are smashed out. But he made it. I was the only one that flew down the mountain just with my body, cuts and bleeding everywhere. I had a 1/4 inch of gravel underneath my eyelids. And then a kid at the top, he really got hurt with his deal. But what happened was, and I'll let you guys go with your story. So what happened was I survived it, didn't die. The kid,
no shit.
No, I didn't die. Can you believe that? And the guy driving, when we get to the top, he's like freaking out. He didn't know how bad he was hurt. He was just going, my car. And he goes, Mickey, you got to get out of here. Mickey's the kid that stayed in the car, and because Mickey was a drug dealer. He said, Mickey, you got to. If my dad knows you're here, I'm in big trouble. You got to get out of here. And he's like, where do I go? He goes, I don't know. You got to get. We're in the mountains. So Mickey goes, all right, I'll start hitchhiking. So I go, I'll go with you. But I didn't realize I was in shock, and I'm going. I keep stopping. Am I alive? Have I got something breaking my head open? What's happening? Anyway,
are you still tripping at this point?
Of course, but I'll tell you, when something like that happens, your whole adrenaline takes over, right? So we started hitchhiking, and I didn't realize I had long hair at the time, kind of like you ruffians, and I had cuts and blood everywhere, and I had dirt. And every car would look at me and go, oh my God, we're not picking these guys up.
No, you look like a murderer. You look like an insane.
Yeah. So listen, we finally walked all the way down the mountain to where we got to like the first stop sign. And some dude decides he's going to pick us crazy looking kids up. And we get in his car, and I didn't realize what I was doing. I'm in the back seat, and like directly behind the driver. And I start telling the story. And I said, we just flew off the damn mountain. We flew off the cliff. And I can't believe none of these damn campers up in there, these people camping out wouldn't help us, or nobody picked us up. And I start banging on the back of his headrest. I didn't know I was doing it. I'm going, these fucking people wouldn't pick us up. And I'm banging. And this guy's going, oh, whoa. And he goes, we go about a block. He goes, you guys got to get out. We ended up having to walk 18 miles home after flying off a cliff in the mountains. The story we heard from the cops that met with the other two that made it said 99% of people that fly off this cliff do not survive. The fact that the 4 of you are alive is amazing. So that's a story, and I have more like that, but that's a story I survived with something you just can't imagine you really did survive. So now let's just go around the table.
So did you have the life flash before your eyes thing, or was it more of just a slow motion?
No, I think at 16 I didn't have enough life to flash. But what did happen is that it really truly washed over me that this is the end. My life is now over, and I'm going to watch it happen. I'm going to experience death. And it's weird because I got super calm. I'm like, I can't stop it. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Let me watch it happen.
There's something liberating almost about that sense of like letting go, though, right? Like that,
absolutely.
Like, look, I have no control. I'm not.
Take your seatbelt off.
Whatever happens. So I was riding in a car with, or it was a truck. It was a big truck with a friend of mine. And we had been drinking, and we decided to go from where we were to like a dance hall type place, and we were going to party, right? So we all pile in this dude's truck, and we're driving, we're hauling ass, and he's driving like a dick. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. He's passing people in the oncoming, and then like going off in the ditch and coming back. And at some point, I can remember thinking and I was drunk. I've been drinking all day. I can remember thinking like, I don't want to live through this shit. Like, like if we're going to crash, we're going to crash the fuck out of it. And I took my seatbelt off and I grabbed a bottle of whiskey and took a chug. Just like, fuck it, let's go, I guess. I can't, like, you can only tell him to slow down. You were telling him, slow down. You can only tell him to slow down so many times before it's like, look, this is it. We're going, you know?
Yeah.
We didn't fly off a cliff. We went through a ditch and like hopped a curve and
He
like
veered off into a ditch.
we hopped a curve. This guy fell off 2,000 feet off a cliff. Yeah. No, that's not a comparison.
But at 80 miles an hour,
No, but
yeah, it was wild.
When you say you took off your seatbelt because you said, you know what, the situation is not under my control anymore. So whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So why am I going to stress it?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I was there for that one. I also did the same thing. We were in the back seat.
That's why we were powerless, right? Like, I can't even grab the steering wheel, dude. We're fucked. So we might as well just take the seatbelt off.
I had another one. I was in the passenger seat of a truck with a 300-pound dude doing 80 up I-35 heading north, like through downtown, and he fell asleep at the just poop on the window and started veering off, and we almost got it.
Did you have to throw your foot over there to stop the car, or did he?
Yeah, I pushed and grabbed the wheel and then reached over with my foot and pushed his foot into the brake and got us stopped. And then had to fight him to get him to let me drive.
Oh.
Yeah, because once you get to that point, right? Like, you've got the truck pulled over on the side of 35.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's 2-3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, at least.
So there's nobody else on the road. So luckily, right?
Right.
But now you need to get the fuck out of there, and you've got this drunk, belligerent, passed out motherfucker in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and no bullshit, 300 pounds.
Yeah, he's a big old boy.
So it's interesting you're talking about your story, and as you got into it, I was like, oh man, I wonder if I should tell mine, but I think I will. It's similar, but different. So I used to live in Utah when I was like in my early 20s. And on my time off, I'd go exploring and go check out new places to like hike and check out. It's just a beautiful place to live.
Yeah.
And just north of this lake, I was living in Vernal. North of Vernal is a lake called Steinecker, and kind of like northeast of the lake, there's a ridge, and you can see where the sand and dirt and rocks have fallen over time, and the highway kind of goes along that ledge, and you can drive up and walk up on top of it and see over one side and over the other side at the lake. So one day I decided I wanted to go do that. And I parked my truck on the side of the road, and I hiked up to the side and walked up all up on the top, and I could see everything. It was beautiful, and I could see my truck at the bottom. And I was like, instead of walking all the way back up, up this hill, I can just go down this, like, where the sand has fallen and kind of eroded over time, So I took, like, one step down, and I could, it would catch me, and I kept taking more steps, and I was like, I can get some speed going, and kind of it catches me, the gravel. And eventually my steps got too big and I got out of control.
You can't stop.
And I was tumbling. And it was like, I was tumbling so much, I had enough awareness to be like, this is it. And I was just tumbling, and I just stopped.
Yeah.
And that was it. And I was like, whoa. And there's my truck, and I'm okay, and everything's still there. But yeah, just the surrealness of that moment of like, we're out of control right now. Take the seatbelt off. Here we go. You know, like
It makes me think, you know, the stupid like TikTok videos where the guy's like riding a bike and tries to pop a wheelie and the whole bike just falls apart and he lands on his feet. Like, wait, what the fuck just happened?
yeah.
Well, you know how when you were tumbling, see if you had the same experience. When that happened to me and I was flying down the mountain there.
That's what made me think of it. Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is I kept thinking to myself, is it going to be a tree or a rock that smashes my head and kills me? So I actually left my eyes open while I was rolling, trying to see what was going to get me. And when you're flying through that kind of there's literally jagged rocks everywhere and trees. You think one of those, I'm rolling at 60 miles an hour. I smack my head on that and that's it.
Yeah.
Did you have that experience where you were rolling down that deal where you're thinking, man, there's going to be something here that's going to get me?
No, I was just like, I was so out of control. I knew I was so out of control. I didn't even think that far as to what was going to stop me. I was just like, this is it. It's done.
You're just kind of in the moment.
Yeah. I was very like, this is just, I don't even know how else to describe it. Just totally out of control.
But listen, when we all go through these things we've gone through, don't you look back and you go, you know, man, it's cool to survive stuff. It gives you more strength. It also gives you, in my opinion, more purpose to do shit in your life because any minute the big one could hit us and we're done.
Well, different perspective. What's crazy to me is I think at some kind of stupid level, I crave that feeling, that jolt of life that happens.
Oh, this is why we jump off cliffs and ride motorcycles.
That's what I was gonna say, dude. I ride motorcycles. You know, like as often as I can or want to. I ride motorcycles, and every day, even on just a 25-mile ride, you know, to work, like cars are out there trying to kill me. You know, like it happens every day.
When you ride a motorcycle, they be trying to kill you.
Yeah,
they be trying to kill you.
And I'm like, that's it. This.
It's not like they're passively like, you know, not paying attention. No, they're like actively like.
You think they've got notches on their glove boxes? Like that one today?
Yeah. Like sometimes it blows. Like I'm here. I'm past you. You can see me, right? And then you try to move up, or like
they push me over.
Dude.
It happened to me in traffic yesterday. I was driving home on 183 during traffic time, and it's fucking wall to wall traffic, you know. And I'm keeping just a little bit of a distance because I'm on a bike, so I'm trying to put my feet down as little as possible, right? So you creep when you're in traffic, you know. Dude, there wasn't even a car length in front of me, and this car next to me is like, "I'm coming over now," and I was like, "But I'm right here," and they were like, "Yeah, but you're on a motorcycle. Fuck you."
Ooh. And so lane splitting is legal in Texas and totally a thing in California and elsewhere in other states. It makes sense. And when I try to explain it to people, I'm like, bro, if someone's lane splitting for those of you that don't know, if traffic is stopped or below 10 miles an hour, another word for it is filtering. Motorcycles will go through the gaps right between the cars to get to the front. Now, this serves two purposes. One is it gets the motorcycle out of harm's way. The second purpose is it's relinquishing traffic. Like, it's making less traffic because these people are no longer in the line that you're sitting in, right? Here's the deal. People don't think about it like that, especially not in Texas.
An asshole.
You get some redneck, like, and look, I'm not hating. I come from rednecks, but you get some redneck that's like, fuck you, Spooby, I'm gonna fucking open my door. And that shit happens. It happens. And they'll try and hurt you just because you're on a motorcycle. That's my point.
Yep. And I mean, in traffic, they were like, fuck you, I'm in a car. Like, straight up. It was not a, like...
Or they'll do the thing where they, like, you know, where they, like, oh, I'm just gonna, like, swerve into the middle so you can't go... You know, like, where people, like, cock block you. Fuck, dude, you realize you almost just killed me. I
Motorcycle cock blocking.
You're trying to be like some kind of superhero right now, like you're John Wayne, like you're the fucking cop, right?
And
but
what
you almost just killed me. That's what just happened.
What most people don't understand about bikes too is that you've only got two pieces of rubber touching the ground. Your stopping power is actually less than it is in a car when you have four tires on the ground. When you have four tires on the ground and
a good rider can do things. You can downshift and shit, but yeah, you're right.
If you come to the oh shit moment and you have to slam on your brakes, you're better off in a car. Like,
the other thing they don't think about though is that I have gloves on that have armor on the fists, right? And I'm way faster than they are. So, like, I can just, like, punch or kick the side of their car, and then I can burn off and be gone.
I've kicked some cars, dude.
Cars.
Fuck them. All right, we need to take a shot and review this whiskey.
I would say that's the appropriate thing to do at this point.
That's next on the agenda, huh?
Ooh, nice save.
That's those glasses.
Just for those of you that heard that, he almost knocked his whiskey over.
Nope.
That's a cardinal sin, especially when it's Garage Oil American Badass Whiskey.
Yeah, we'd have to spank you or something.
Wait a
Blake.
minute. If you guys are being initiated into my club here, you're in the Team Badass, right? I gave you these classes.
Man.
I want to hear your best badass call out saying Garage Oil American Badass
Is this like
Whiskey.
Whataburger guy doing American Badass Whiskey?
No, I want no act. I want you from your soul to be a badass.
Or do we want well, looky here, Pilgrim. This is American Badass Whiskey.
Wait, man. Don't be getting my John Wayne out. Well, listen
uh-huh.
tight, you motherfuckers. Well, let's all take a shot of Garage Oil, ya ha ha ha.
That's so
Cheers.
cool. Cheers, guys.
The most badass motherfucker south of the picket wire.
Picket
next
wire.
to me.
But I'm not going to hit you. I'm not going to hit you. Oh, the hell I'm not.
All right. So, this is the part of the show where we review the whiskey. Today we're drinking Garage Oil, American Badass Whiskey. There's some words on the back. It's short and sweet. I'll read them. Never mind, I can't read. Let's talk about it. Sweetness, what do you think? I think it's high.
3.
Yes.
Let's talk about the sweetness, though.
Okay.
It's not syrup sweet.
No,
It's a
no.
pleasant sweet.
Oh, we got to talk about the ratings because I don't think
Yeah,
Ron's
maybe we
familiar
do.
with the ratings at all. How
Okay, yes.
Because it's probably not how you think it is.
Right. It's like sweet.
So, this is not saying, higher is not better. This is like, if you're going to taste it, as someone that's tasted, at this point, hundreds of bottles of whiskey, if you're going to taste it, these are kind of, this is what you might experience, right? In other words, some bottles might be sweet, might be not sweet at all. They could still be good.
Oh, yeah.
So, kind of at the end, we'll recap and okay, our overall vibe. What do we think?
Yeah, yeah.
Let's give some context for that 3 though for him. What would be a 5?
A 5 is that low and
Maple
slow,
syrup, yeah.
and that shit fucking sucks. By the way.
Yeah.
But and I will be honest. Typically, I'm not a big fan of sweet. This is not overly sweet. This is a little bit sweeter than average.
Right.
That's
right.
why it's a 3. So
And-
2.5.
and I would say-
Oh, it's out of 5. Also, by the way, it's out of 5.
And just so you know, that's on purpose because I'm trying to build a wide lane of people that are kind of new to whiskey and or not hardcore enough to drink straight up badass whiskey. So this gives me a broader audience. Remember, I'm the owner trying to sell whiskey.
Yeah.
So that little bit of sweetness just helps some people who can't do it.
So we're gonna we'll get into it. Crunch. How do we feel about crunch? I think it's smooth.
Yeah, 2.
Smooth.
1.5, 2.
Yeah.
I'll go 2. Bite again. Low.
Low. Yeah, a 2 again.
Yeah.
I would go 1.5. Gator.
2's fine. 2's
Okay,
fair.
2. All right, bottle. Now look.
Oh man.
Top marks.
There's been very, very few, and I'm not sucking your dick because you're here. I'm being honest.
Motherfucker, you better not.
We have a couple of bottles that we've put up with a 4. Belfour is one of them. What is it? Willet is pretty good. Blanton's is good. There was one. Which one was it that had the? Anyway, this bottle is one of the coolest bottles I've ever seen.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah. If we should give it a 6, and not because you're on here the show, not that whole bit, but
It's just that it's badass. It's just nothing
Yeah.
like it.
I'm,
Listen,
I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I've done this hundreds of times at this point. If I'm looking at a shelf at a liquor store and there's hundreds of bottles lined up, what bottle sticks out more than this one? Maybe like the skull, the one that's like a skull, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe the one that's shaped like a baseball or
Or
something.
the one that's shaped like a Texas got you at least a couple times.
Yeah, but even that one is like that feels pandering, right?
yeah.
Even
Listen.
look, I can even admit it.
let's talk about the skull. That's Dan Aykroyd's. That's Crystal Head vodka.
Yep.
That vodka sucks.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm
People buy it for the bottle. But I'm saying,
I'm not talking anything.
No, but we're talking about bottle design, right? So
Yeah.
that's exactly why people do buy that, is for the bottle design.
Sure.
And I like the skull for sure. What is this right here?
Will it?
Yeah, look at this bottle.
Yeah, it's an awesome bottle.
No,
That's really good whiskey, too.
I think this is a butt plug. I mean,
Well, fuck you for making me think that from now on.
I want that to happen because look, it's listen, aesthetically it's a pretty cool design, but it doesn't lead you to think cool badass whiskey. It might
doesn't.
be fantastic.
It is fancy.
It's
but
fancy.
it's fancy.
Yeah, it's fancy.
And that's a butt plug.
So what I'll say, a lot of times the things we look for when we're talking about bottle, pop is one of them, which it had a good pop. It even had a decent second pop.
Uniqueness.
We look for if it is just a generic like Jack Daniel's shaped bottle with no like texture to it or anything. Texture adds to it. Back label, if you can see, like if you print something on the back of the label, that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. You know, you drink it and you get like a little surprise.
I dig it.
But this bottle is definitely unique. You can't argue.
There's
it, right?
nothing else like that.
Yeah, there's
I've never seen anything like that before.
And even like it resonates with me, right? Like it's got the hot rod, it's got the garage oil, American badass. Like, come on, who doesn't want to be this? And he's holding a cigar and a glass of whiskey. Like,
if you took the gas station motif kind of out of it, it would still be a badass bottle.
It would still be. It's a double kicker,
a game
man.
changer.
That's so cool. I can't like. However you had that designed and however that came together, that's really badass.
And read what's underneath the Cheers hand holding that glass right there. What's that say?
Keep your parts lubed.
Keep your parts lubed. So it's these little things that that I want to stick in people's head. So we're drinking garage oil, but we're keeping our parts lubed with some whiskey. Those type of little things that's in my that necker piece right there, that gives it a different iconic feel than just some slick ass fucking fluted bottle.
Yeah, it'll fit in your butt pretty well, I guess.
Hey, look, I'm a finely tuned machine. I got to keep it.
Keep your parts lubed, bro.
You don't want to leak anything though, so that's why you stick this in your butt plug, right?
So I gotta give this bottle. And again, I would not lie to you.
Even if I wasn't here, you'd do this.
I would give this bottle 4.5.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I'm fine. That's fair. I think that's highest bottle ratings we ever given.
Dude, you said 6 earlier, you piece of shit.
No, 5 is the highest, and to me, a 5 is like, well, I can't help but buy that bottle. That bottle could taste like shit. I'm gonna buy it anyway because the bottle's so fucking.
Yeah, but let me tell you, that's what I hear all the time. I have videos of people that film said, I don't drink, not just whiskey. I don't drink at all, but I gotta buy that bottle.
Yeah.
It's cool, man.
Drunkenness. How do we feel? Are we all lubed up?
Yeah, easy to get down.
Yeah, no, and this is where we bring it all together.
3.5.
Yeah, I'll say 3.5.
3. I'd go 3.
3.5. 3.5. You're outnumbered.
Okay. We'll put down 3.5. All right. All right. So we did 3.22, 4.5, 3.5. Now that again, these are not like 5 is the best, 0 is the worst. These are just like our notes, right? How do we feel about the overall bottle?
No, I like it.
And let's just review it. Like, I think this is accessible. This is something that I feel like anybody can drink, and I personally am. I would like it a little bit less sweet, but I can drink this all night long.
Yeah,
and so when it comes to like drunkenness, it hit a little bit higher than average, even for me, who scored at the lowest on drunkenness. It hit a little bit higher than average because it is that drinkable.
Well,
right?
and you can shoot it or you can drink it is a huge point. Like I've done both. The first bottle we didn't have ice or cups or anything. We just drank.
I was about to say, let's be real. A lot of people don't want to take straight shots of whiskey all the time. And what I'm saying is, you could with this.
You could with this, and also it's a good sipping whiskey.
And on the
you're
flip
a sipping
side,
person, if
you're a seasoned bourbon drinker, you can definitely enjoy this as just a straight whiskey.
Well, think about this as well. So you guys are whiskey drinkers, right? But if let's say you're at some sort of gathering and you've got all kinds of walks of life with people that are from novices to drinking to people that are hardcore, and you want to have everybody feeling good and feeling happy. You can't come out and give them 100 proof moonshine and say, "Hey, let's all have fun," because people go, "Fucking, you're burning my mouth. I'm not doing this." This is the whiskey that you can open up and everybody in the room can enjoy it.
Yeah.
That was the whole freaking point. And so what happens is, though, like what you just said, for you, it feels a little sweet, but it's dangerous in the fact that you don't realize all of a sudden I drank a bottle of this because it's so easy to drink. Mm-hmm. So you almost have to be careful with garage because it's too damn easy.
It's not like that. It's sweet.
It's not.
It's like the edge is off of it.
It has a tiny bit of a feeling like it's a mixed
What's
drink
the
already.
proof? Is it 80?
It's 80.
Okay.
And you can tell, so I know that I'm feeling, because we've had a few now, is that it is a really nice high. Like, it's not the kind of, like, where you're drunk and you feel like you
I don't feel sluggish right now.
You feel, like, mellow and cool and happy.
Then that's what I want to say, too, about, like, the overall quality for me is, like, how I feel after it. I don't feel like I'm sluggish and ridiculous right now. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoy drinking it, and it doesn't screw me up a lot. It's pleasurable. It's nice. I really like it.
But it does screw you up enough. That's what you
Well,
want.
yeah. I mean, listen.
I mean, I'm going to drink some
we're
more.
here to drink some whiskey.
I'm going to drink some more and get more screwed up.
Well, yeah. And then I'm going to get that butt plug away from you.
Yeah. Just spit on it before you
No. Hey, I'm sorry I screwed up your whiskey bottle there, brother.
No, that's all good. We'll figure out how to get that in the show one of these days.
I'm having a good time because I'm the brand owner, right? If I can kind of
can
fuck with
talk
somebody
shit
else's
about
brand,
that,
yeah,
do it,
why not?
yeah.
You know, I've got a bit of the UFC in me.
What's your favorite whiskey outside of yours? Obviously,
So you know what I was drinking before
I'm trying to get a feel for your taste.
Yeah.
That's
Before I came up with this, I was drinking Crown Royal Black.
okay. So is that mesquite? Mesquite?
No, it's Crown. So I like Crown Royal, but Crown Royal Black is aged longer and a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
And it is.
It's Gentleman Jack.
And Crown Royal is sweet. So,
But I can tell you, like when Crown Royal started coming out with what would they come with? Green apple and what's the other one? Maple.
Yeah, I'm not. Really
I hated them. I hated them, and I thought, man, I like that brand, but I hate their sweet whiskeys. So when I did this, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to. That's not like when you.
That's not what this is.
It's
This
at all.
is not
Right.
sweet whiskey.
It does not
This
have
is not
fucking
sweet
maple
whiskey.
syrup or anything like that. But I do like the black because the black is a little stronger, but yet a little bit smoother than regular Crown Royal. But see, I like to drink whiskey just straight on over ice.
I'll have to try that because I think I drank Crown Royal mesquite,
I don't know. I've never had that.
and I thought that I wasn't vibing with it.
No.
I can do Crown Royal, but I think Crown Royal tends to be a little bit sweet. I do enjoy it, but I drift more towards the bourbon, right?
Yeah.
Like I want it to kick you in the balls and then rub your back at the end.
I like Maker's Mark.
Maker's Mark is great. Yeah. Woodford Reserve
Yeah,
is great.
Woodford is good. So I kind of drank. I've drank all whiskeys. I like all whiskeys. I just don't like Scotch. I don't. For some reason, I've never liked Scotch.
He's a Scotch. Gator's a Scotch guy.
I like J&B Scotch.
J&B's a little bit something about Scotch.
Water,
feels like,
a little ice, maybe it's okay. You know,
Scotch feels sometimes like I'm drinking some cardboards in it or something.
I'll say
I'm not a Scotch person.
I don't like.
I'm
I don't like
bourbon all the way.
most scotches. Like most scotches that are out there, I don't like them. I have stumbled across, like just pure accident, have stumbled across a couple of scotches that were like, damn, that shit is really good. But it was, for the most part, not a Scotch fan. Also,
you brought up UFC just in brief. Have you had the Proper 12
that's
whiskey?
terrible.
No.
The
Is that Dana White?
It's Conor McGregor's.
Oh, Conor
whiskey.
McGregor.
Yeah.
Oh, Dana White just came out with one called Howlerhead.
Yeah,
it's a banana whiskey.
It's not good either.
It's nothing as good as Crown, but it's made in the same distillery as mine. It's just they use his flavor profile. But he didn't know what he was doing. He didn't come up with a good
He
one.
fucked it up.
Yeah.
How are you gonna make that? Yeah.
But the same distillery makes it as mine. So I'm with these guys. So let's talk about Jack Daniels and the history and how they're.
Yeah, let's do
This company that I contracted to, this is called Green River Spirits. They've been around since the 1800s as well, just like Jack. They had the 10th of the first liquor license ever given to companies in America. They had the 10th one.
Wow.
That's how old they are. That's just they didn't go for the same kind of mass production that Jack did, and then they got into making spirits for other companies, which is how I ended up with them. But they've been around just as long, and they know what they're doing, and they've got all kinds of brands out there that you guys wouldn't know that the owners of them contract the same people that I do. But I will tell you, I just was in Fredericksburg looking at property because we're going to build our own distillery.
Hell yeah. Hell yes.
Oh, man.
And it's going to be in a property where there's all kinds of fucking fun things to do. Go to the distillery. Go to my American
You need a
Badass
skeet shooting
Cafe.
range. A skeet shooting range.
Ski. Well, listen,
Skeet shooting.
I
Duck
want to
hunting,
do.
you got duck hunting.
I
Come
want
on,
to do
man.
bowling and skeet. And if somebody bowls a gutter, you shoot them.
That'll work. Sure.
But you gotta drink
Can
whiskey
we race
too, right?
go-karts? Is there a titty bar? All right, let's get straight to the chase.
Wait a minute. I gotta have tourist trade, brother. I can't be tittying it up.
No, you won't get the right crowd.
No, that's the secret door. You gotta be on a list to get in the
we
back.
think we can build a distillery that becomes a tourist destination because I can't reveal everything to you now. But
Sure,
I'm working
yeah.
on something that could fucking change.
Oh no, we're getting an
Fredericksburg.
exclusive. I want to dig deeper. What's going on in Fredericksburg?
Dude, my lawyers cannot let me do this.
Oh, fuck lawyers.
I don't have any fucking lawyers.
Not yet.
Not yet. But
I don't even like lawyers.
I am working with a developer that's done huge $1 billion projects, and we're working on something.
Wow.
I'll let you guys know, but he's asked me to please not do it because we don't want somebody else going on there and snatching up our land and our idea.
Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah. And I just trademarked
All
something,
right.
which I'll tell you about later, which you will love.
We can do that off the air. Let's shift gears. Straight dicks and buttholes. Y'all ready? So this is our bread and butter right here.
Oh god.
A dude is suing Twitch because apparently there's too many thoughts, and now he's got a porn addiction, and he thinks it's unfair. He thinks he's been,
Manipulated.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's unfair too. I'm going to side with the guy. I think it's unfair.
So tell me the story. I don't know the whole deal.
So apparently he has a porn addiction.
You're familiar with Twitch?
Yeah, I'm familiar with Twitch, but how does that make somebody addicted to porn?
Well,
Girls are jumping up and down channel.
Yeah, there's all the.
I know, but addiction is like anything else. You're responsible for your own shit.
Hey, that's the question at hand, right?
Well, go ahead. Let's go.
so yeah. So how do we feel about this guy? Is his porn addiction Twitch's fault, or do we have to turn that?
And that's what he's suing
Reflection
Twitch
inward.
based on. That
Yeah.
it's their responsibility.
No, but if he wins, good for him.
You think so?
no,
Fucking
Wait.
That's a really
wait.
shitty perspective.
Here's one of those real life stories I got to throw out there again for you guys, which you'll love. I'm probably 12 years old, right? And I'm in my neighborhood, and it's some sort of like late afternoon deal, and it was like a Sunday, nobody's around, and somebody had driven by or was in their house, and they threw out some trash, and they were like 80 porn mags that were on the sidewalk.
Hold on. So I'm walking home from school one day. I'm probably like 12 years old. And I see like a trail going into the woods. And this is my neighborhood, right? I'm walking home. So I'm like, okay, let's go down this trail. I find a tent that obviously someone was passing through. And they weren't there at the time. There were empty beer cans everywhere. But the real score was all of the porno magazines that were left behind.
out, right? So you'll be able
And
to
that's
relate.
how we used to have to find porn. We used to not be able to look it up on our
Yeah, there
phone.
was no damn internet. Man, we had to fucking go out in the forest and find old porn magazines.
Hide it in a school bus and beat off. You ever beat off in a hot school bus?
Yeah, no. Look at them squirrels up there. That's porn. No, but listen. When I found the porn at 12 years old, I took it in my basement, and I was in hog heaven, man. I'm seeing everything I'd never seen but wanted to see, and it's all going on. And I'm learning about sex and vaginas and titties and all kinds of stuff. And so I'm thinking to myself, I'm like ferocious about this, right? Because that when you're 12, you're getting your first woodies, and you're crazy.
You're like, what
Your
is
hormones
this?
are going
Yeah.
nuts, right? So my point is, the guy that threw out the porn magazines, if I'd have became a porn crazy dude, would he been responsible or would I have been responsible? This is the same thing with Twitch, right?
It depends.
It's there. It was
he,
there.
Is he $1 billion company?
What?
That's what look. I'm driving home from a party, and this girl starts slobbing my knob, and then her friend who's in the passenger seat starts going at it also. I feel like I need to sue him because, I mean, my wife can't be two chicks at the same time, right? She just can't.
You're ruined, dude.
So, it's never.
got two dicks?
It's never gonna happen again. This is her fault.
Yeah, it's everybody else's fault but our own.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
How did this guy get a lawyer? I guess he's got a lot of money, man.
He probably is a
His lawyer is Ron Jeremy.
He probably is a lawyer. Is the thing is he's probably a lawyer and like, hey, this is a thing.
Yeah, this is his way to get out of his little world that was so cool, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm a porn guy, so I'm going to say it's somebody else's fault."
I'm tired of being an injury lawyer.
Man, I feel like I'm getting old because I keep coming back to this. Shit's different now. I feel like kids just don't. These fucking kids need to stay off.
Dude,
the
that's
They
the
don't
right
earn-
thing to say.
They don't earn their hangovers, man.
They don't earn their hangovers. They don't mow their lawn. They don't pick up their fucking laundry. Come
They
on,
don't do
kids, grow
shit.
up a little bit.
They don't do shit.
It has changed a lot. Just reflecting on the whole wood situation, the bounty of pornography that used to be provided by nature.
Yes.
I found Buying pornos in the woods.
They used to fall out of the trees.
Me too.
Oh.
It's a little weather beaten, but you're like, hey.
Oh, you don't let that stop you. And let me ask you this.
And the pages that stick together, and you're like, why are these pages stuck together?
Oh,
Dawned on me,
young and
dude.
naive.
I was like, oh, just a rain sticky or something.
Yeah. That's maple syrup did that.
It's sticky nature out here.
Do y'all remember the early days of cable television
Scramble porn.
when you could go to the channel and it would be scrambled porn on the TV, but it was like the sound came through perfectly fine?
I was gonna say the sound.
Oh my God.
Obviously, it's about the sound, right? Like the sound.
You're an audio guy.
Because your mind, you know why you're saying that? Because your mind thinks you can put the images together. You can see that dude banging her in your mind, but if you hear it, it's all real.
Yeah, it's all real.
You just close your eyes and you're right there.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I'm sure glad I came on this fucking show.
That's fun, huh?
Everybody that hear, this guy is making this whiskey and he's really coming up in the world. Now he's on there talking about it. Porn in the streets.
Scramble porn.
Scrambled porn.
Oh, man.
I'm so old that we used to have the fucking sets with the rabbit ears, and I would try to get the rabbit ears to get the picture in better so I could see it better.
Yep.
And I'm watching old shit like fucking comedy shows like Benny Hill, where once in a while a titty would get shown, and that was like a big thing in my
Oh
life.
my God, yeah.
A titty. I saw a titty at 10 years old. Woo!
There's a titty. That's a titty. Fully,
And Sears catalog,
That's
when they
a
show the
fully.
underwear, I was like, woo, man.
They are real.
So this brings me to one of the most important questions that we've asked most of our guests, so I hope you don't get offended here.
As you can tell, I'm really touchy.
So when separating the art from the artist, who's your favorite pedophile?
Is that like the question, like, when did you stop beating your wife? Like, what's the right fucking answer?
No. So there's you got to think of it like this. Like you could say like, well, Michael Jackson made a lot of great music and was a really great entertainer. Maybe he was also a pedophile.
What do you mean, maybe?
He
What
said,
do you mean, maybe, dude?
I was being nice. I was being nice.
No. You guys are about being real. That dude diddled the shit out of little boys.
Yeah. Also, he made a lot of great music. So you could maybe he might be one of them, right? Or maybe
Shimon it. He'd say, little boy, come here and shimon it.
Dude,
I have no...
I always go back to like Remix to Ignition is one of the best
R.
songs
Kelly?
that's ever been made.
R.
And
Kelly
it
could
breaks
be
my
one of
heart
them. R.
that that
Kelly.
guy did it, but god damn, that's a good song. It's fucking fire. Right now, guys, go listen to Remix to Ignition and tell me it didn't fire.
You know what? Don't you find when you have some affinity for something, whether it's music or an actor or an art or some other shit, and then you find out the worst thing about that fucking person,
Right.
and then you try to reconcile in your mind, do I still like his shit? Because I know he's a piece of shit,
Yep.
but do I let the art live? And
Yeah.
and that is a hard thing for me to justify.
Hey, Harvey Weinstein did all the Lord of the Rings. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
The ugliest dude in the world got all the pussy in the
God
world.
damn, he's a fucking troll, isn't he?
He's a fat fucking old troll.
Man, he does look terrible.
But these actresses, listen, I'm not one of these Me Too people where I think that just the dude's responsible. I think he put women, and I know that world, he put women in a lot of bad positions who wanted to make a living, but absolutely they're responsible too, because you can leave that room and say, I don't need that part that bad. So it's a double-edged sword. He's a piece of shit, but every woman that said, oh, he did these bad things to me, believe me, in the moment, they wanted that fucking part too.
Right.
So they got to take some responsibility for that shit. Unless they were held down, tied down, and raped, and then didn't tell anybody, like, why would you not tell me if a crime was committed? They were part of it too.
Who's
And
the
I
Jello
don't want
pudding?
women. I don't wait.
Who's the
I don't
Jello
want-
pudding guy?
I don't want women to think that I think women are bad in that way, but I'm saying let's all be responsible for our own actions.
Yeah,
Yep.
I
Yeah.
totally agree, man.
Yeah, there's not a lot of difference there between the guy that's doing Twitch. All right, like
Yeah. He's not taking any responsibility for anything he did. He's
anything
passing
he
the
did.
buck.
Right.
Yeah.
And nobody told that guy to beat off to Twitch. You know what I mean? Nobody fucking forced him to look at the.
Well, didn't
like-
Twitch tell him to? Isn't that what he's saying?
Well, they just gave him the opportunity. That's all.
Dude, it's the smoking ads, right? Like when they went after Joe Camel, you know?
Oh man, I quit smoking cigarettes after Joe Camel went away.
Dude,
Well,
yeah.
look at they were created a cartoon character for kids.
Yeah.
Joe Camel. He's
Yeah.
cool, man.
He was cool as fuck, though. Come
He
on.
was, dude, with the sunglasses,
The
his leather
Marlboro
jacket, dude.
The Marlboro dude died of lung cancer. I mean, come on, that's the worst advertising in the world.
Yeah, but he's a cowboy.
He's
Yeah.
a cowboy.
Hindsight's
On a
2020.
steel horse I ride.
Yeah.
Cause I'm wanted,
Wanted.
dead or alive.
Boom. and we're singing.
Man, that was good.
All right, we're gonna have to take drunkenness up a little bit.
Yeah,
We're singing on the podcast.
We're gonna do an after hours, do some karaoke.
Okay, favorite karaoke song?
Ooh, Shakin', Eddie Money. Right?
I love that song.
That's a great song.
I need a bar of that.
Dude, she was shaking.
Snapping her fingers.
Ooh,
She was moving round
vibing.
and round and round.
that girl was shaking.
Okay, next up. Favorite karaoke.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Hootie Blue what fish?
Hootie and the Blowfish. She sits alone by a lamppost.
Let her cry.
Trying
That's
to
a hard
find
one to
something
sing, though.
scream to mind.
It's a hard one to sing.
Yeah, but I want to get to the fucking
Let
chorus.
her cry, let the tears fall down like rain. Yeah.
Love it. All right, dude,
That one's
you're
good.
up, Chris.
Man, this is a hard one.
Yours is George Strait, you dumb motherfucker.
No, it's not. I know better than that shit.
Ain't nobody can sing like
Ain't
George.
nobody can sing George Strait.
Dude, one time I was at a karaoke bar and we were doing karaoke and it god damn it, what was it? Jet?
Joan Jett?
It's just a kiss on the lips and I was on my knees.
Yeah.
Cold hearted bitch. It's just, you know that song?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a dude that I went to school with, and I didn't know that he had this in him. But he started singing that song, and he was like running up and down between the tables and like high fiving people and like jumping on top of dude. He was jumping on the bar like he was going hard, and nobody fucking like he was so about it that nobody stopped him. He was just a fucking rock star in the moment. In karaoke, cold hearted bitch, it's just a kiss on the lips, and I was on my knees. You know that song?
Yep. I know that.
I don't know that song.
Oh man,
You know that song?
No, I don't know that song, but I'd like to hear it now. Especially, I want to see the video of your crazy friend running through the freaking audience.
Oh yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
Was that at Fowler's?
Listen,
It was.
don't you agree if you're going to do karaoke, like, don't try to be a professional, like, don't act like an asshole. Just go for it. If you fuck it up, that's part
It's
of
got to
the
be a song that you
entertainment value.
like. It's got to be a song that you like. You have to vibe with it. Like
You have to vibe with it, but you
Yeah.
also got to not care.
So I have an uncle. I have an
You have to
uncle
not
that's
care.
in sales, and he's really good at it. Really good at it. This is a motherfucker that like. One time, me and Chris pulled up to a like family, or I'll say an uncle cousin function. It wasn't like a family event. There wasn't kids there, but we pulled up. We were doing what, Chris? 100 miles an hour in the Kia,
Yeah.
and the cops pulled
Fast
up.
as it go.
They pulled up behind us, right? And so we stopped, and we were going fast. So we whip it into the parking lot. We get out. We try to like throw all the booze in the bushes, you know. And the cop pulls up and blocks us so that we can't back out. And now we're standing at the front of the car like, I don't know what. And he gets out and he shines his flashlight at us. Hey, what are you guys doing? And my uncle walks out, stone cold sober, stone cold. And he was just like, hey man, what's going on? How's it going? And he starts talking to him. And he fucking, I don't know how, but we went inside and the cop left. That's how that story ends.
Yeah.
There's no reason for it. He's just a fucking salesman. He is. We're driving to go skiing, right? Cop pulls us over at 2:00 in the morning. And he's like, any weapons or firearms in the truck? And he turns around, he looks at us, and he's like, well, there's 1, 2, 3. There's 5 of us, so probably five firearms. And my dad leans over and he's like, I have 2. And he's like, all right, 6 firearms. There's 6 firearms in the truck. Again, we're fucking let go. Anyway, all right, so my uncle is a salesman. He's a salesman at heart. His theory is if you want to be a great salesman, you have to do 2 things. One of them is you have to sing karaoke sober, right? And then the other one is you have to watch Tommy Boy. You know that movie Tommy Boy?
Yeah,
Chris
man, I
Farley?
love Tommy Boy.
And that's how you'll learn how to be a salesman. If you can do those 2 things,
You can get a good look at a steak by shoving your head up a butcher's ass.
but it has to be earable.
That guy in a little coat.
So yeah, that's his whole theory.
Wait a minute. What is the karaoke sober? Did you have the balls to do it?
Yeah, well, it's something about
Sell it. You got to sell the moment.
You got to sell it. You got to.
Yeah.
It's the presence.
And you don't have the
And
booze.
if you're
I
drunk,
guess.
you have no inhibitions anyway, so who cares? But if
Yeah.
you're sober, can you sell it?
Can you sell sober karaoke and then watch Tommy
And
Boy
not
after?
have a great
That's
voice. That's the deal.
Yeah.
Because if you have a great voice, you could fucking sing. Who cares, right?
Yeah,
But if you
that's true.
suck and then you can sell it and people still like it,
Now you're selling.
now you're selling. Hey, why are you motherfuckers not doing a shot of my whiskey? Let's go.
Let's do a shot. Boom.
Pour 'em up. Where is it? Oh, right there. It's almost gone.
Oh, we're gonna drink.
Well,
We're gonna drink 2 bottles.
The four of us drank this, and you got the top on there, homeboy. I think you've had a couple. He just tried to pour the bottle with the cork in.
It's hard to tell, man.
Listen, shall we say that we started with 5 people and we've already lost 1? I mean, we've already knocked 1 out of the ballpark here.
Yeah.
So the 4 of us have killed this bottle, not 5, which we started with. but that's pretty quick. But listen, this is the thing about Garage Ale. It's that easy to drink.
It really is. It's very, very enjoyable, very pleasant.
And listen, I know that there's a hardcore part of or your guys' style of whiskey drinking. But you got to imagine, too, there's also a really pleasant thing about just sitting with some folks and having a nice glass of something, some sort of liquor
that's
you
what
enjoy.
we're about. And it's really great that your brand is Garage Oil American Badass Whiskey, right? So it starts with Garage Oil. So we started in the garage. That's how we started this podcast. And even to take it back further, you and I sat in an Uber at some point together years ago, and we both had a vision. We both had a dream. And now here we sit, and both of our dreams are becoming reality.
So listen,
and I want to make a cheers to that. I want to make a cheers to
Man, this is so cool.
Toast to that, brother.
It's great to hang out with you finally.
And let me tell you this. Man. I remember the business card you gave me. It had a very colorful card. I think it was that, right? That's on here?
Yep.
So I remember that business card, and I remember you saying, we've just started this whiskey podcast, and I'm thinking to myself, this is where as I create this whiskey, right? I need to be on these kinds of platforms. I need to be out there in these kinds of situations. And I thought to myself how interesting it was that I was starting the SI. And at the time, I had no investment money. I didn't have the flavor profile down. I had this dream to do it, right? And that's where you got to have the fucking dream.
Yeah.
Because nothing else happens. But you're exactly right. When you said we just started this thing, and I'm saying I'm just starting this whiskey company, and now look, you guys have been doing this for 3 years. You're building an audience, and I've just started. Actually, took me 3 years to produce this, and now we're here, and we're sitting in this room drinking this bottle. That when you were drunk ass crazy people in my Uber, and I was poor shit getting thrown on my apartment. Now we're here, and my company is popping. I'm on NASCAR, and you guys have this fucking really cool situation you've created with your podcast. Life can be fucking exciting and good, brother, but you just got to survive the shit.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's awesome,
listen,
man.
Hey, where can they find you?
So on my website, there is a link that says "Get You Some." Go on there, and I've listed
Where's your website?
GarageOilSpirits.com.
There you go.
On there's a list of every liquor store and bar that's carrying it right now, and it's like 40 some, and there's a bunch more coming. So they can go there and find it. I can't list all of them because that'd take 40 fucking deals.
Yeah.
But a bunch of places already, and more coming along. I just had a big conference call with West Texas today. There's a company out there called Pinky's. They've got the market out there on the liquor stores. I just had a conference call with the owners. We'll be in West Texas soon, all over that market. We're going to grow, brother. I've got a store carrying it in California already. Colorado's coming. Florida's coming. Arizona's coming. We're going to start popping, homeboy.
Hey,
Man.
We're going to put you on our website, too, if you don't mind. You'll be.
Do I need to wear clothes for that?
No.
We're not going to put you.
We make people pay for that, right?
Yeah, we'll send
You
up
guys-
the payment.
you guys
That
out
could
there-
be a Patreon level.
You
They
guys
can
in
send
podcast land, you don't know that they make you come in this fucking studio and get naked, man. We're nude.
Hey, we're all naked. Look, we're trying to break through barriers here. We're trying to get to the real.
Well, I noticed the bottle you got up there with the.
Man, he gave away our secret. People never knew that we were naked on this show. God
They don't call him Gator for nothing. Chomp, chomp.
Come on, man.
Guys, the Whiskey and Wizards website is up. It's whiskeyandwizardspodcast.com. If you'd like to support the show, there's links to our Patreon account with pledges starting at just $1 a month. At whiskeyandwizardspodcast.com, you can also find links to the show no matter how you choose to listen on iTunes, YouTube, Spotify, Google Play, Podbean, Pandora, Audible, everywhere. So look us up. There's also live feeds to our social media on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. We're on the That's Not Canon network. There's tons of great podcasts no matter what you like to listen to. Most importantly, if you made it this far in the show, you're a bad motherfucker, right? Wait, what do our glasses say? Team Badass.
You're on Team Badass.
Team Badass.
Yeah. Team Badass.
Go to our website, whiskeyandwhiskerspodcast.com, and click that bad motherfucker link. Your donations, it's what keeps the show going. It's what allows us to keep bringing that fire. So, keep making you laugh. You know, like, go to our website, click the link, and subscribe. Fuck you, Gator.
Keep making you laugh. As long as they make you laugh, it's all good, right?
That's all that matters.
Go to the website.
That's why I'm here.
Go to the website.
There's some perks there, too, once you become a member, so go see what's up. Go to whiskeyandwhiskerspodcast.com. Donate to our Patreon. New episodes every Monday. New content all the time. We'll see you next week.
Later.